Hey, welcome everybody. It's Ted Bodromo. It's Tuesdays with Ted and our second call today. We're doing two in a row today. We're on a roll. Today, our guest is JV Crum the third. I met, God, over 5 years ago now, I think. Time just flies by. But I met JV. How did we come across that, JV? Where did we meet? A conference or somebody introduced us? I'm not sure. Can you hear me okay? You're kind of frozen. JV, are you there? Can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can. I wasn't able to hear you. I changed my settings.
There we go. I love it. Technology
Is so fun.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know what I would do if it weren't. And I've told everybody because I have a special crush on Sophia, the robot. I've just said we're going to have a special arrangement because I might have some needs that Sophia can't take care of. But other than that, Sophia's a very pleasant personality and a great sense of humor. And she's good looking. And I have a feeling she's not going to age. She's going to look this good 20 years from now.
Her face might not move when she smiles, but when did we meet, JV? Did somebody introduce us? It's been a long time.
It has been a long time. Gosh, I don't know when we met.
Maybe it was Alex Mundos. He introduced me to get on your podcast way at the beginning of your podcast. When did you start that?
Probably 2014. You probably were on the first year, the first time.
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
Yep. So maybe it was 2014. Yeah. It seems like centuries ago. So much has happened.
I know. And the last 2 years don't even count.
And the last 2 years barely even count. Yes, it's a whole new world. I can't tell you how many people I've had conversations with. I actually have found that my life works better this way, that I don't want to go back to 2019. This is more efficient. I have no need to get on a plane and travel someplace when I can just get on Zoom and be at a conference. I mean, it's totally changed my perspective. And I have had that same conversation, especially last month. I could tell you how many people are going, nope. And I've talked to some big names that used to do huge events. They're not going back to in-person events. They're going to have small in-person events and big virtual events.
Yeah. Yeah, I jumped on a plane a couple months ago to go to a speaking engagement. I'm like, yeah, this isn't fun anymore. There's delays and it's just not the same.
No. Well, and I think the thing is that we've found that this actually works.
Yeah.
And I used to go to the grocery store every day. No, once a week. And it's like, oh, what was I doing? What was I thinking? It's not like vegetables die in a day.
Right.
Yeah. So I think that this has ushered in, the downsides. It's like downtown Denver. There's maybe 25% of the people walking the streets on a work day, and half the restaurants have closed because nobody goes downtown.
Mm-hmm.
We've kind of done the opposite. People are out in the outskirts now, and they go, no, I want some land around me. And, it has changed a whole lot.
It has. So when did you write your book, The Conscious Millionaire?
Yeah, so that came out, and the podcast, which is Conscious Millionaire Show, in our network, we've had over 3,100 episodes. We're in our 8th year. And they came out within 3 months of each other.
Wow.
And so they technically came out the end of 2013. Mm-hmm. And it became the #1 book on all of Amazon, which I'm proud of because that doesn't happen very often. There are a lot of people who have #1 in a category. I was #1 in 34 categories, and we had 50,000 downloads in 3 days. And then the show hit. The second month, it had 150,000 downloads. And I have to be honest, I'm going, okay, I guess by next year I'm going to do a new book, and I know it's going to be on mindset. But I have fallen so much in love with this microphone that I just love interview. Today, I was on a show. Yesterday, I did a training for Mind Valley. And once again, I did a great training that was an hour long. And where did I have to go? Oh, to my desk where one of my computers is. And that's how far I had to go to train Mind Valley. Yeah. So, and then had 5 guests on my shows yesterday. And here I am. You're my second show today. And it's just so much more efficient. And I have meetings. I set up an hour almost every day with 3 20-minute meetings. And in 1 hour, I can make 3 deals.
Yeah.
It's a whole new world. Yeah. People go, oh, do you want to meet at a coffee shop? Well, what would we do that for? Yeah. You have to get all dressed up. You have to drive someplace. You got to find a parking place. All of a sudden, all that just seems like a huge hassle. And right. And before, it just seemed like that was normal.
I put on jeans the other day for the first time in months.
I have 9 suits that I have not had a suit on in 2 years. What would you do? Where would you go?
Right.
Why would you, I'm going, well, I guess you could get all dressed up and have dinner at home.
Yeah. Oh, it's true. No, I read your book, Conscious Millionaire. It's like really resonated with me. I really enjoyed that. And then, so why did you get started in this mindset business? What shifted you? You're an attorney, right?
Well, I'm trained as an attorney. I'm licensed in 2 states. I've never had $1 of income as an attorney because I went to law school and ran the family business. We had 50 people working for us, and I ran it and went to law school simultaneously. I also did that when I got my MBA later. And I studied tax law and corporate law, and that's what I thought I was going to do. And then it just turned out over time that I realized it took me a long time to figure out that I actually wasn't going to practice law. I kept thinking, oh, next year I'll practice law, and realized I'm really just an entrepreneur. Mm-hmm. And I love being an entrepreneur, and I love training entrepreneurs to be successful and to achieve their version of financial freedom by helping others, making this a better world. Everybody that comes in the Conscious Millionaire portal really wants to make a positive impact in the world, and they want to be financially successful. And that's what all our programs are ultimately about, is making an impact and achieving financial freedom.
Yeah. What I love about you, like you decide to write a book, you go 100% in on that.
That's interesting because yes, this morning, Debbie Allen was interviewing me, and she knows me less time than you. And she says, you're just somebody who goes all in. And I go, yeah, that's how I do it. And then I'm not over it. I integrate it. So like I go do something all in, bring it into who I am, and then I do the next thing all in. Yeah. But it's how I learn and iterate very quickly and immerse myself. It's like I wouldn't, when I went through my period that I lived at a Buddhist monastery, and then I lived at Esalen. And then I lived in Boulder, which was kind of like a Buddhist monastery that was Esalen, except you get to go hiking and camping. And, then that integrated because my life is fairly contemplative. Mm-hmm. And that's why I used to, 2019, I was going out 3 or 4 nights a week because I also like a lot of entertainment, jazz clubs, that sort of thing. And I'm now going, I don't actually miss it. I like having more time to contemplate, to meditate, to go take walks, to integrate all of this, and then create programs that are going to help other people. And I'm now finding, like, I don't have cable. Tonight there's a presidential address, and I would normally watch it, see what's happening, but I don't actually have a way to watch it. And I'm going, that's okay. That's pretty much the kind of shifts that I've gone through, especially during this pandemic period. And they've left me able to make a bigger difference with my life because there's more reservoir inside of me as opposed to having drained it off with all these other activities. Mm-hmm. I'm spending most of my time enriching myself and contemplating how can I make my bigger impact? How can I influence entrepreneurs and help them unlock and rewire their minds so that they can play at a much bigger level and have a bigger identity and realize how much is truly possible for them, that inside they've coded that into, as I go, you have an container inside. One says impossible and the other says possible. And guess what, Ted? It's easy to know what's in your possibility. Just look out your door, look in your bank account, look at your clients, and that's what you think is possible. And everything else you actually think is impossible. part of my job is help people learn how to move the impossible to the possible and then manifest it, execute to bring that into their new personal reality.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just love your approach to it all. You actually do it too. That's what I appreciate about you.
Yeah, everything that I teach comes from what I do.
Yeah.
As opposed, I'm sure there are people who are teaching great things, but they're always referencing other people. The only reference I've made recently to anybody else was Mahatma Gandhi, "Be the change you want in the world," and I think that's a pretty good reference point.
Right. So what kind of programs? You don't go out and speak anymore. You're on podcasts. You do workshops.
Yeah, I'm doing this masterclass now, First Million Masterclass, where I teach the 3 mindset secrets and then the money hacks, so that I teach people to begin unlocking their true potential and rewiring their mind so that they can go wherever they're at, they can go here, because everybody has a next level.
Right.
And that's the cool thing about this game called shifting your mindset and your strategies and playing bigger, is there's always another level. And then there's another level. And then there's another level. I mean, right now I've been putting out the word to friends that I feel like this is the year for me to work with a billionaire. And I want a billionaire that wants to become a 10 billionaire.
Mm-hmm.
And the truth is maybe that's their next level. But somebody else, their next level might be 100 or 250 or 500, or maybe they're at $1 million and their next levels, well, we want to make 2 or 3, or we want to make, have 5 million as a milestone. It's all the same process. And I help people unlock that and rewire themselves to go to the next level. And then I call it being a limitless performer, because limitless performer isn't like you arrive. It's that you make a decision and a commitment that you want to go to higher and higher and higher levels of being more and more limitless, and then more limitless, and then more limitless. And that to me is the passionate game of playing the game of being an entrepreneur and making impact with your life, is to see how many more limitless circles can you go out into and then make that the passion of your life.
That's what I like too. You have actually a system, a process that you follow.
Yep.
It's not just willy-nilly. It's a repeatable process.
No, I have a definite process, definite formulas I've created, and I take people, no matter what it is they want to achieve, we're going to use the same formulas. We're just going to use them at a different level and unlock different pieces. So they may have different blocks, but all blocks can be resolved the same way.
Right. So do you have to be at a certain level to start this, or can you be like, I'm really struggling, I really need to just get going here?
Yeah. So in the First Million Masterclass, it's primarily for 5 and 6 figure entrepreneurs that are on that path to get to their first million, but that may not be their next step. Their next step actually may be 100 or 250 or 500. And I go, you've got to get to have the aspiration, know what you want, but then we're going to focus on the next step, because what I found is a lot of people fail. Let's just use $1 million as a marker. They fail to get there, even though they say that's what they want to accomplish, because they don't take steps. And I go, well, it's a step. It took me from the time that I started in business, it took me 3 years to get to my first million, and everybody it's a journey. But the thing is, it's a fun journey, because it's not just your company growing. First and foremost, it's about you growing. And I actually think being an entrepreneur, and especially a conscious millionaire entrepreneur, one who wants to make their money by making a positive impact, I see myself as doing Jedi training like Star Wars. We're doing training, and it's ultimately, and there's a spiritual dimension, because when you're thinking about living your purpose and having a bigger vision of what you can do with your life, to me, that's a spiritual journey. And it's really about training you how to take that journey. And in your case, the people I work with have decided that the journey they're interested in, the external journey, is being an entrepreneur. They could have chosen something else. The internal journey, to me, is still this spiritual, personal growth, evolution of your consciousness, shifting who you are, playing at a higher level, and in that process, discovering new possibilities for who you can be and how you can show up in the world and how you can produce and what kind of results you actually can create. And to say the sky is the limit would be too limiting. It is limitless. who you can become and the impact you can make and the money that you can make doing that.
So this might even work for people in corporate world, right? If they want to progress up the ladder.
Yes, it would. And Ted, I'm glad you brought that up, because I have several times in the last couple of years thought, maybe I should have a division. I work with executives, but you know what? It's not the people I'm supposed to be working with. I really like and am drawn to working with people who have direct and total control over how much revenue and profits they make. That's just how I'm set up and the kind of work that I want to do. I think it's great to work with executives, but the truth is most executives do not have direct control over their revenue or their income. And I like to work with people where we can couple the results that we're going to get with their shifting, their up-leveling their mindset, and then from there up-leveling the strategies that they're using. And there's an external financial outcome that they want. And there's also an external KPI called impact on other people. And that might be measured by the number of clients you have. It can be measured by which programs you sell, because you find out that your clients now want to go up this ladder too, right? That they want to become more and more limitless. And so you're making that impact, but you're making an impact by them changing, and then they're going to turn around and make an impact. So I don't call it a ripple. I call it a wave. A ripple's too small. I'm interested in people creating big waves with their lives, and then big waves through their customers and clients, and then their customers and clients turning around and creating big waves, so that we can create a much more conscious world in a way that we're all making money by creating products and services that make a true intrinsic positive impact in the world, and people's lives and humanity as a whole is better. And when I ask people to step back and go, are you afraid to make more money because you're going to take somebody else's money? A lot of people have been told that. And I go, it's not about a pie. It's about how many pies can we bake and how big can they be? And you get to choose how many pies you're baking and how many people you influence. And ultimately, people pay you because you add value to their life. That's why people are paying you back. So then the question is, how much value do you want to add? And how big do you want to play so that you're impacting people's lives in the world at a bigger level?
That makes a lot more sense, because I'm thinking in that corporate world, you got ceilings you'd keep hitting.
Yeah. It's just, it's just not the world that I feel like I'm called to play in. And yet I train coaches and people who have programs who do. That is their target market. And I think it's fabulous. Yeah. I'm just really clear, for me, it's about entrepreneurs.
That's awesome. So how do we get to take this masterclass?
Yeah, so I think you've got a link to the masterclass.
There we go.
Yep. So tedprodromo.com/JV. I think it's clever. JV, by the way, folks, it's JV Crum III. And JV is also a joint venture. Sometimes being an attorney, I'd offer people, I'll license JV to you. Right. Of course, they can use JV all they want. They don't have to license it from me. But, it's just kind of a fun joke.
You'll gladly take their money if they want to send you money, though.
Well, let me tell you, the First Million Masterclass, I think it's very different than what you normally are going to. I'm literally going to introduce you to a formula that will unleash your ability, unlock you, literally start rewiring your mind so that you can realize, if I want to double my sales this month, that's actually a possibility. And I tell you how you start doing that and give you example of how you can do that. And what are the questions that you must ask yourself in order to unlock your mind in order to be able to do that. Yeah. And so that's the what we do. And I help people realize that their mindset is really 80% of success. I've looked at it. I'm trained. I'm a great in systems and numbers. And I love that, but I had to ask myself, what did I want to do, right? I want to do the thing that's going to have the biggest impact. And I know no matter what level you're at as an entrepreneur, a coach, a consultant, a service provider, that when you start unlocking and literally rewiring your mind, that there is no limit. It's about being limitless. And now you can start playing higher and higher and higher. 80% of the money you're going to make, the success you're going to have, the lives that you're going to impact, is going to come from your mindset about who you are, your identity, and what is possible for you. The beliefs, are they holding you back over here in scarcity, or are they opening you to limitless abundance? And all of that's going to happen very quickly when you start unlocking it. And then what happens, and this is the number one mistake I see people making, is they want to do the external first.
Yeah.
You know? And so they go, oh, I got to redo my sales funnel. And I go, that may be true. But if you redo your sales funnel with the mindset you currently have, you won't have any different sales funnel, just have some different words, but you'll produce the same level externally as you are internally. That's why you must up-level you inside.
Right.
And then externally, you can change the strategy, you can change the execution, but you'll be doing it at a much higher level. And that's when it really gets to be fun, because you start to realize, oh, this game has some rules. And I teach people those rules. And then when you start playing by the rules, and those rules are about expanding your consciousness, your mindset, your awareness of what's possible, changing your identity, changing your personal reality. And when you start doing that, all of a sudden you see possibility, you see reality, you see your business, you think about your business very differently. And that's the essence of what has to happen if you want to be truly financially free. Mm-hmm. People talk about financial freedom as if it's in la la land. Financial freedom occurs because you do a set of things internally, and then you do a set of steps externally, but you must do them in that order, and you must do the right steps in the right order, but it all starts inside of you. And that's what I teach people at the First Million Masterclasses. Where does it start, and what's that formula, and how do you use it to create practical results? But not just practical, but quick results. I'm very much a guy who loves speed. Mm-hmm. And I think the universe must love speed as well. And I say that in a practical way because you look at who goes to the marketplace, the person who's the fastest and has up-leveled their mind to the highest level, they're going to be the winner.
Like your podcast, you said, I'm going to do a podcast, and then all of a sudden you had 13 million downloads. I mean, that didn't take long.
No, actually, you really have to focus, and that's my wealth formula, conscious focused action. And I teach entrepreneurs how to use that to focus their mind, because you must first focus your mind. And when I look at why most entrepreneurs actually never make $100,000, and a lot of people have asked me, well, why do you think that happens? And I go, well, I know exactly why it happens. You know, they're going in 10 directions. They want multiple markets, multiple products. They're doing multiple things. And I'm going, you don't even have 100,000 revenue. You know, when you get to 1 million, let's have this discussion as to whether you want to add another market, whether you want to add another product. But you look around and you'll see that most companies who very quickly got to 7 and 8 figures, because that's the majority of the people I specifically work with, they did it oftentimes in one market and one product. Mm-hmm. They just figured out what was in alignment with who they are and what the market was missing and wanting, and they supply it.
Yeah.
But they don't go off in 10 directions. That is not the recipe for success at all. That's the recipe for failure.
Yeah. And sometimes companies do that. They create one product, they're filling a niche, they're making a lot of money, then they veer off in another direction. Like, why'd you do that?
Yeah. Well, Google has had that problem. You know, they're known for search, and they've tried other things that didn't really pan out.
Yeah.
And it's because it's not their primary offer, and they've got to stay with their primary offer and with their primary market.
Yeah. Well, JV, this has been great. It's great catching up with you again.
Sure. And I want to invite you, if you're listening, if you're on the live stream or if you're watching a recording, go to tedprodromo.com/JV. That's tedprodromo.com/JV. Sign up for the First Million Masterclass. I'd love to see you there. It's 90 minutes. It will change your life. It'll change your view about who you are, what's possible for you, and what's possible for your business, the impact you're going to make in the world. And you'll start realizing, oh my gosh, I can make a much bigger impact, and I can put a lot more money in the bank account. That's Conscious Millionaire. Make your impact, make your money, do it together. And then I assure you that you will find your deepest fulfillment doing it that way. Because if you only go after the conscious part, you'll just end up broke. And you won't actually make that big of an impact, because it does take money to market and find the right clients and provide the right products and services. And if you just do the money part, and that's how I made money the first part, I became a millionaire at 25. And I very quickly realized, well, something's wrong. I'm not happy. I'm not fulfilled. Now I have this beautiful home and a Mercedes in the garage, and I thought this was the whole deal.
Right.
And it turns out it was only part of the deal. It was part of the deal, but I kind of got there the way a lot of people do, and then realized, well, I'm not fulfilled. I need to find a deeper path. And I did. And I took a deep spiritual journey. I went to sweat lodges. I did a lot of things. And I've realized that my purpose was missing. And then when I connected with my purpose of helping entrepreneurs become financially free by doing something that's aligned with their purpose and makes a positive impact in the world, that they can become whatever wealthy means to them, because that's different for each person, but they can become wealthy while doing something that fulfills them and they love, and they know at the end of the day they impacted other people's lives. And I can tell you from my own experience, that is the most thrilling and joyful and fulfilling and meaningful thing I do any day, is when I impact someone's life and make a difference.
It is. Isn't that great? It's better than driving your Mercedes, right?
Yeah, it is better than driving the Mercedes, especially when you've had several. So you kind of go, okay, that's nice.
Right.
But exactly. I'd rather go find somebody and change their life. That just seems more fun and enjoyable.
Yeah, much more fulfilling.
Much more fulfilling. Ted, thank you for having me on. I appreciate you hosting me today.
Thank you. And we'll be in touch very soon.
Thank you.
Thanks.